Hello, Grass Nation. It's your host, Millie Tamaris here. We are taking this week off in honor of Indigenous Peoples Day, formerly known as Columbus Day. I'm reporting to you from New York City, the homeland of the Lenape, who were violently displaced as a result of European settler colonialism over the course of 400 years. The Lenape are a dysphoric people who remain closely connected with this land and are its rightful stewards. Fun fact, did you know that New York City has one of the largest urban Native American / indigenous populations in the United States? I read that on a website. Anyway, Elise and I were talking, and we thought the best way to acknowledge the complicated history of this country, the United States, is to take some time to reflect on a complicated history of another American artist, Azealia Banks. We are sharing one of our Patreon search history episodes for you to deep dive into. If you want to hear more episodes like this, please subscribe to our Patreon. It's what keeps the lights on, and we appreciate it so much. Before this holiday, maybe take a second, look up which Native American tribe does your grass belong to. And until then, again, I love you. Bye. Happy Indigenous Peoples Day.
This is a HeadGum podcast.
You got mail.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to
Go Touch Grass.
I was talking to somebody. Welcome. This is your Many Beasts of Azealia Banks episode. We're going to get into it. But I was just, as we just started, I just remembered, like, it's so hard to be a woman. And this is kind of like, this is like.
You do the whole Barbie speech?
Yeah,
it's
I know.
so impossible to be a woman.
Well, I did this podcast a few weeks ago, and it was like, the guy had a really good setup and it was cool. And I was like asking him about specific technical things about like filters for YouTube and stuff like that. And he was like, yeah, you want to start every recording like with a clap.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I do that. Like,
No.
I know, like.
For sure we know that.
Yeah. But it's like, everyone thinks you're so dumb. Like,
Yeah, it's like, okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do to create your podcast is you're going to want to make an audio file of yourself speaking. It's like, no, yeah, totally.
yeah. But like,
like I'm asking about like post-production.
I asked a specific post-production question, and you're like, you want to start with your microphone on? And I'm like, okay.
Have you talked before?
To that guy?
No, I just mean.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Him.
Have you like ever thought about kind of talking? Do you know how? Can
That's
you talk
how
for a long
people fucking,
time?
like, talk to me about. And it just ties in well to the many beefs of Azealia Banks.
I'm prepped.
You're prepped?
I know some of these beefs. I definitely don't know all of these beefs. One looms large in my consciousness and is something that I think about often and kind of quote often to myself when we get to it.
Okay. There's no way I could cover all of it. There's no way.
I think this one will factor in.
Even like the 10 or whatever, the 7 that I covered, caused me emotional distress. I had to push this back a half hour. You know, we were supposed to meet at 12 because my body was in pain and I needed to take a nap.
Your body kept the score.
My body kept the score of reading all of this. Complicated figure.
Complicated figure.
So before we get started on breaking down her beefs, I'll tell you who's Azealia Banks.
Yeah.
Azealia Amanda Banks, I was born May 31st, 1991, Gemini, already
That
strong.
tracks strongly.
Strongly. An American rapper, singer, songwriter, raised in the Harlem neighborhood of New York City. She began recording,
In
releasing
the
music.
212.
Yeah,
One
the
might
212.
say.
I think all of New York was 212, or like Manhattan was
all of-
212.
yeah.
She started releasing music in MySpace in 2008. She was signed to XL Recordings at age 18. She subsequently signed with Interscope and Polydor before separating in 2013. She became an independent artist and started her own independent record label, Chaos and Glory Recordings.
Amazing.
Amazing. She later signed to Parlophone and Warner Records before quitting her label in 2023. She's the youngest of three. Her single mother raised her and her two siblings in Harlem after their father died of pancreatic cancer. She was only 2 years old when he died. Following her father's death, Banks says that her mother became, trigger warning, child abuse. Her mother became really abusive physically and verbally. This is a quote. She would hit me and my sisters with baseball bats, bang our heads up against walls. She would always tell me I was ugly. I remember once she threw out all the food in the fridge just so we wouldn't have anything to eat. Due to her escalating violence, Banks moved out of her mother's home at age 14 to live with her older sister. I feel like that also contributes a lot to a lot of the lore of Azealia Banks.
Yeah. I mean, that's a tough, at 14 to have to move out of your mother's home.
Yeah.
That's a tough background to have.
So she moves in with her sister and she starts to get into, performing arts. She has a lot of talent. She was in she's in plays and got when she was 16, somebody saw her at something and she would get a lot of auditions with Law and Order, with all this stuff.
This is a question you may not know the answer to. Did she go to LaGuardia?
I think she might have. If she didn't go to LaGuardia, she went to some kind of performing arts school. That's a great question.
For anyone who doesn't know, LaGuardia is the performing arts high school in New York. Anyone can go, but you have to audition. You have to get in. I think it's the high school that the musical movie Fame is based off of. I've never actually seen Fame, but LaGuardia looms very large in the high school
Nicki Minaj
world.
went.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Lady Gaga, I think, went, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of people who are famous went to LaGuardia. It's a very legit situation. You basically choose a major when you go there.
So yeah, she did go to LaGuardia.
That's what I was like, it's giving LaGuardia.
Jennifer Aniston, Adrian Brody, Timothy Chalamet.
I was gonna say, isn't the Timothy Chalamet rap video at LaGuardia High School?
Yes, but Azealia Banks never finished LaGuardia. She dropped
Didn't
out.
Have to.
Yeah, she was in the comedy musical City of Angels, where she was found by an agent and they sent her to auditions for TBS, Nickelodeon, Law and Order. All without success. Sad, she didn't get to book, but she was always creative and she was always very talented. And she started making rap and R&B music. Banks's song 212 has been listed as one of the best songs of 2011 and one of the defining songs of the decade by music publications, including Rolling Stone.
I would agree with that.
I definitely
100%.
would agree with that.
I also, when I first moved to New York, was listening to 212 constantly. Not saying all the words, but listening and loving. And
laughing.
And laughing and learning. So, yeah, I mean.
I feel like if it still plays now.
If I hear that, from the beginning, if I hear 212 begin, I revert into a 20-year-old new to New York feral state.
Azealia has released 3 mixtapes: Fantasy in 2012, Slay Z in 2016, and Young Rapunzel Part 2 in 2019. She has a studio album, Broke with Expensive Taste, in 2014, and 2 extended plays, 1991 and 2012, and Icy Colors Change in 2018. In 2017, Banks led her debut in the musical drama Love Beats Rhymes, portraying the lead character. Banks's work, we'll get back to Love Beats Rhymes. Banks's works have garnered acclaim from critics, drawing on various sounds, including including house, rap, pop, electronic music, and avant-garde. So again, her music's really interesting, but she's a controversial figure. She's bleached her skin. She's gotten a boob job.
Ooh,
She's bleached her skin to talk about her I guess she's had like uneven or hyperpigmentation because of whatever, but she like bleached it to be a little lighter. She's gotten a boob job because she was insecure about her boobs. She might have borderline personality disorder. That's what people have been diagnosing her with. She also is probably bipolar. She's, again, defended herself, called out racism, called out misogyny. She's also advocated for Trump. She's also like had some pretty problematic views. She's just really all over the place.
Gemini. She can be either. She's the twins.
Throughout Banks' social media presence and outspoken views, especially on U.S. politics and race, as well as disputes with other artists, she's attracted significant controversy. Complex noted in 2014 that she gets more attention for her public feuds than she does for her music. So again, the list of beefs, which is like gone viral a bunch of times, it was on her Wikipedia. That list is not there anymore. But the list includes Pablo Buttar, Anita, Kim Kardashian, Marina, Kanye West, Lords, Grimes, Elon Musk, Remy Ma, Cardi B, Lana Del Rey, Charlie XCX, Lady Gaga, T.I., Azealia, Iggy Azalea, Action Bronson, Lil Kim, Sky Jackson, Rita Ora, Kendrick Lamar, Pharrell Williams, Erykah Badu, Kreayshawn, Rihanna, A$AP Rocky, Bauer, Nicki Minaj, Sia, Dominique Young Unique, Jim Jones, Beyonce, Angel Hayes, Lily Allen, RZA, SZA, Just Jean.
Yes, we remember.
Rico Nasty, Lupe Fiasco, Eminem, RuPaul, Perez Hilton, Nick Cannon, Diplo, Shea Coulee, Funkmaster Flex, the Stone Roses, K. Michelle, Shiesty, Amanda Bruckner, Troy Carter, Cupcake, Mariah Lynn, Disclosure, Lizzo, Kim Petras, Katy Perry, Slater, Miss Gabby, Wendy Williams, Interscope Records, Billboard Magazine, the nation of Brazil, Ireland, Sweden, Israel, and Australia. So
there are some in there where I'm like, beef with that person. And then there are others where I say, huh. And then there are others where I'm like, wow, Kreayshawn, I haven't thought about that person in a real long time.
Exactly. So there's a way longer list of people, like including on like Reddit, that's like way longer than this. But it included people like for example, one of the people on that list was Tame Impala. And someone was on Reddit was like, what was her beef with Tame Impala? And someone was like, oh, she said his song was cheesy. And it's like, or his music's cheesy. And it's like, well, is that a beef?
That was honestly exactly going to be my question, is like, how does one define a beef? Is it just making one comment that a song is cheesy? For me personally, I feel like it has to be like a sustained.
Yeah, like I would say a back and forth would justify it as a beef. And like she, as of recently, Azealia Banks has been called some like a cultural critic. She likes to comment on music. She likes to say like a song sucks or a song's good. And then people be like, oh, she's beefing with them. And it's like, well, I don't know if you would call like a New York Times critique.
Yeah, would those just be beef?
But I don't know. But then some people would be like, that New York Times critic tore Peter Luger a new one. So I don't know.
Well, I remember recently because Katy Perry had that like horrible song come out, and The Cut posted an article that was pretty damning where they were like, Katy Perry is stuck in 2010.
Yeah.
And there were all these people in the comments who were like, wow, tearing down a woman. Like, this is so mean and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, this is cultural criticism. The song is fucking bad. She did a bad job. She made bad art. When you put art out there, people are allowed to have she's one of the biggest pop stars in the world. She's not some kid on YouTube putting songs up where it's like would be mean to skewer them. So I don't know. I feel like a beef back and forth, definitely. Then we have beef. And then I think a one-sided beef has to be like sustained over a period of time and also feel more personal than just like, I think this song is cheesy. It's like,
so
we'll get to the Elon Musk of it all. But
for example, like Erykah Badu is on this list. Erica Badu, if I can recall from memory, that's not one of the beefs we're going to talk about. But if I can recall from memory, Erica Badu, like, kind of like unprovoked, said, like, I listen to her fucking music. I don't get it. It sounds stupid. It's bad, whatever. And Azealia was like, damn, that really sucks. Like, I've always looked up to you and whatever. And then I guess, like, they did start going back and forth. But, like,
Okay.
yeah, it was like, that kind of did start as, like, it. But then it was like, was that mean for Erica Badu to just, like, make fun of a younger artist? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, so it gets complicated.
It
So,
does get complicated. I feel like beef, there is an element of personal attack, not
okay, okay.
not
Not
simply
artistic.
artistic attack. Like Drake and Kendrick had beef. They were
Yeah.
saying you are a pedophile.
Yeah.
Like you beat your wife, you are a pedophile. You suck. Like,
Yeah.
there's personal attack happening.
So, this is what we're going to do.
Okay.
I'm going to go through, like, several beefs.
Okay.
After each beef, I want to hear your perspective on, like, was she right? Was she wrong?
Great.
Do you agree? Do you not agree?
Okay.
So, the first beef we're going to talk about from Azealia Banks is in May of 2016, and we're going to start it. Azealia Banks versus Zayn Malik.
Oh, wow.
You don't know this one?
I don't know this one. But
Wow.
I was a One Direction girly with that first album. They got me with that.
Okay, so
And
yeah,
I did
you
like
know.
Zayn, though I know he's kind of problematic.
Well,
I did find him to be quite handsome. That's what I will say.
Interesting.
But he shouldn't have pushed Yolanda Hadid.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. So, right, Zayn Malik goes solo
Mhm.
and releases an R&B album.
Yeah.
And one of his songs, like one of the music videos for Like I Would, there's a lot of similarities to one of Azealia Banks's things. I'm going to show you like these are like still images from the thing. So this is
Okay.
Zayn, this is Azealia.
Okay.
So what do you see here? Like this
So
first
in the first two images are both of them super close up face shots with like a blue lighting on both of them.
and so, I don't know if you can see, but like
His eyes are like colored red or something.
one has a one colored contact and the other one is another color. And she has the same thing, one color and another color.
Okay, so two different color contacts in there
With this close-up frame.
with the close up blue frame. The second two pictures that I'm comparing are them in kind of like geometric.
It's looking like Tron.
Suits. Yeah, like Tron, like a superhero looking bodysuits.
Mhm.
Those don't look as similar to me personally.
Mhm.
The first two images with the close up on the face, for them to both have one different contact,
Yeah.
that's the biggest ping for me of being like, these are similar images. Otherwise, I would be like, these just feel like music video aesthetics that I've seen before. But
Mhm.
the two color contacts, I would be like,
Okay. So the outpouring began when Banks, who was 24 at the time, took a swipe at Malik, who was 23 at the time, accusing him of copying her work. Damn, Zayn be mood boarding the fuck out of me, she wrote via Instagram, sharing stills from his latest video, Like I Would, and other images of her work that she claimed were very similar. I'm not mad about this, though, she added. Zayn is a cutie pie. Zayn was born Zayn Javid Malik. His dad is Pakistani and his mother is white, like British, like Irish and English, right? So initially, she said, like, yeah, Zayn's copying me. And then Zayn says, at Azealia Banks, why you've been saying nasty things about me? I wasn't talking about you, LOL. So then she really goes off. She says, do you understand that you...
should we say blanket that we don't endorse?
We don't
this
endorse
thing?
this. I don't know. Like this term right here is tough. Do you understand that you're a San Niger who emulates white boys' renditions of black malehood? Act like a white boy pretending to be black. This is the second tweet. Question. Okay. This is the third tweet. When your entire extended family has been obliterated by the good old US of A, will you still be trying to, I guess, emulate a white guy pretending he's black? And then she
Hmm.
goes, USA is about to teach you who not to fuck with.
Oh my God.
So then, again, she keeps going. Do you know how lost and cultureless you are? She says, right? Then he tweets, no lies. I see you reaching, but I don't care. I don't know if he means I see you reaching out to me, but I'm not going to. Or
I'm reading. I feel like it's more like you're
Mm.
grasping at anything you can say about.
Yeah, like it's a reach or whatever.
Because she did kind of invoke the American War on Terror.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is a reach a little bit.
And then he said, my ads are too good for you. So I guess like he was saying, I'm not even going to tag you in this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
His reaction sent Banks totally wild, and she embarked on an even more shocking stream of abuse. Dude, I make better music than you. Simmer down with that fake white boy rebellion and that wannabe Bieber swag. You a bitch nigga for even responding like that. Keep sucking this young young Rapunzel. That's her was her image back then. Keep sucking this young Rapunzel dick, you hairy curry scented bitch. Not great.
No, that's not.
And that wasn't all. I'm gonna start calling you Punjab, you dirty bitch.
Oh no.
She went on, you a dick rider for real. Ride this dick until the wheels fall off, Punjab.
Oh.
Malik opted out of the conversation at this point.
Yeah.
But as fans and social media users flocked to Twitter to slam Blanks for her comment, she continued with her shocking responses. LOL, black girls in the UK make themselves look bad without my help. She wrote, those teeth, ? And terrible weaves. Ha 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 ha. I think within that day or the next day, she was then dropped as a headliner of the Born and Bred Festival in London. She was supposed to.
That's gonna happen.
Yeah. And then
you said all black girls in London are ugly, so that's definitely gonna happen.
And you said shit about like people of South Asian descent, like
I mean
those are the two biggest like.
The screed that she did is incredibly racist.
Yeah. They said, we have decided to cancel Azealia Banks' headline appearance at Rinse Born and Bred Festival. We celebrate inclusivity and equality. And I think this is what got her kicked off of Twitter in 2016. She was kicked off of Twitter.
Yeah. Now that you go through this, I remember some of these. I did not remember that they were directed at Zayn Malik, but I remember that she had said a bunch of like fucked up, like anti-Arab South Asian stuff. Like I remembered that, but I couldn't, I had forgotten who it was directed at. That's bad. That's bad.
I guess it is bad, but I think this is a common theme where it's like, the anger comes from a place of like a little like she's mad that he copied her at first, right? Or she was insulted that he copied her and then like didn't acknowledge whatever, like, but then when she starts, she can't stop and she goes to a place that like it just should have never.
She went there fast.
She got there fast.
We're 3 tweets deep and she's saying sand N-word. That's not good.
I guess with her too, it's like the copying thing is just like a calculation of like people copy black women all the time and black artists all the time.
Yeah.
And it fucking sucks, but it's like, if you want to keep working, if you want to keep your headliner shit, you wouldn't even post about it at all. But she doesn't do that. She doesn't know that. But like, even though like Beyonce, Homecoming, and then that Taylor Swift thing where it was exactly like shot by shot, like Taylor Swift did like at the American Music Awards, a marching band thing, wore a leotard, like completely. Beyonce's not going to post.
Yeah.
Oh, Taylor, okay, you're obsessed with,
Yeah.
Even though I could see it, like Beyonce's like, damn, I did, you know what I mean? Like, that is the thing
Was
kind
that
of
in the
gets,
Me era?
yeah,
Yeah, that's when she was also to do a marching band thing that was not
yeah,
like, but I also do think just in general in the world, copying allegations are really hard
yeah,
to prove
yeah.
and oftentimes make the like if you are coming out and you're going to say this person copied me, you have to have some pretty
Deep
major
reasons.
and
Yeah.
damning receipts for people not to think you're just being petty. And I feel like I've seen it on TikTok a lot where someone will
Mm-hmm.
be like, this famous artist. I think I remember one where a girl on TikTok was like, Olivia Rodrigo copied my music video with her SNL performance. And it was like both had took place at like a tea table or something. And people were just
Yeah.
like, and there actually were aesthetically similar imagery
Yeah.
going on, but it's just really hard to lay claim to that, and I do feel like oftentimes the person who comes out with the copying allegation ends up in like looking worse.
I'm thinking of like Oneswa and Nara Smith,
Yeah.
and like it's not enough that it's like she copied me. It's like here's evidence that shows that she knew who I was,
Yes.
and still like it's just,
Yeah, you have to have like a bunch of layers of like this person knew who I was. Here are like 3 different examples of me doing a video and then her doing the exact same video
yeah,
and they're very niche videos that
yeah,
aren't just like we're making mac and cheese, like it's, we're
yeah,
making
yeah,
boba, etc.
yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
really really tough. And I think maybe in the case of this Olivia Rodrigo one or another one that I'm remembering, there was a gal who was like the artistic director who did this does follow. So there was some
Mm,
kind of like juice to have behind it, but it's fucking tough. So it's a tough allegation to make and come forward with in the beginning. I do feel like Zayn Malik could have been like, aha, great minds think alike. Like, you're cute too. Like, tried to like
yeah,
diffuse. But for her to immediately go to really
yeah,
intense
yeah, yeah.
racism is like, whoa,
She's yeah.
you can't be
So
doing that.
yeah, so yeah, exactly. Like I think that I don't know if she should have said anything, but I'm also like someone like Zayn versus someone like Azealia Banks. Um, Zayn is I feel like I don't know might be more hands off with like artistic direction of his music video.
Yeah.
So like that beef is really like it's not at Zayn, it's at his people. So I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah, I do feel like it's not Zayn that's mood boarding you. It's the artistic team
yeah,
that he probably hired. He seems a little bit. Now, Harry Styles, I do feel like is very involved in the like imagery of Harry Styles in a way more than maybe Zayn is. I'm not an expert on the One Direction boys, I will say.
and again, right? Don't love the sand and word the that shit sucks. But it is something of like Zayn left One Direction because he wanted to do more R&B and more that kind of stuff, which is like there is a conversation to be had about appropriation, you know what I mean, and all that stuff. And like so again, don't agree she took it too far, whatever, but I'm like there's kernels of something that anybody would be that is justifiably like to get annoyed at, but not to this level, and also probably not publicly.
Yeah, not publicly, and also then stick to those points.
Yeah.
Stick to the points about copying, stick to the points about whether he belongs in that musical space, but don't be saying again like literal slurs like and all that
that's
stuff.
ridiculous.
And also I do feel like um to be like Zayn's racial background is like a more common racial background in the UK.
Of
There's
course,
a
of
lot
course.
of Pakistani immigrants there. Like it's a different just like cultural heritage. I don't know if Azealia Banks necessarily is like the person to be speaking on that either.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think that like you said, like I guess the justifiable is more of like yeah, it's annoying that this guy copied you. I wouldn't whatever do that. And also, it is interesting to like make a career in this genre and not like, you know, kind of like the Post Malone of it all when he first started, which was like, you're clearly in this space and you're not gonna like address it or talk to you. I don't know.
Yeah.
So again, complicated, but it's not complicated to not say
Insanely racist stuff.
Doing
'Cause
job,
that
right,
that
exactly.
thread went
crazy.
crazy.
Okay, let's talk about Azealia Banks versus Russell Crowe.
Oh. Okay. I did not realize that these two beefed.
Oh, they beefed. So in October 2016, I'll read this article. Basically, it was at a rap party for the Love Beats Rhymes movie. She alleged assault, like that Russell Crowe assaulted her. So this is from the E! News article, right, in 2016. Something happened between Azealia Banks and Russell Crowe, but it seems there are two sides to this story. 25-year-old rapper took to Facebook Sunday night to describe what allegedly transpired between her and the Oscar winner in a suite at the Beverly Hills Hotel a night earlier. To recap my night, I went to a party at Russell Crowe's suite, at which he called me an N-word, choked me, threw me out, and spat on me. The since deleted post read, "Last night was one of the hardest nights of sleep I've ever had in a long time. The men in the room allowed it to happen." She continued, "I feel terrible today." A few hours later, Banks added another comment, "I have receipts, stay tuned." Around that time, she apologizes to Zayn.
Okay.
So she wrote this letter to Zayn. "Dear Zayn, there are no words that can fully express how sorry I am. Recent events have taught me the importance of taking accountability for one's actions. I want and I need to say I'm sorry. I was wrong. I reached out on Twitter to congratulate you leaving One Direction and finding your own path. Many artists sell their souls to this business and sacrifice their happiness for a career. Walking away took bravery, strength, formidable principles, and a powerful sense of self-worth. I applaud you for this. After my tweets, you tweeted something completely unrelated to me, and I mistook it for a personal attack. This set me off. I began a reckless and unacceptable rant, but every cloud has a silver lining, and what has happened taught me that not everything is about me, and not everything is directed at me. Thank you for teaching me this. It is a lesson that I desperately needed to learn. As a Black woman in America, I sometimes forget there are words and comments that hurt other communities. At times, I'm so consumed by my own struggle and the struggle of my race that I forget to consider the hardships other minorities continue to endure. Coming from an ethnicity that is largely discriminated against does not warrant a license to use derogatory, abusive terminology, nor does it give the right to make hurtful remarks. I apologize not only to you, Zayn, but to all those I've hurt and offended. I'm not cruel, nor am I heartless or vindictive. There's a lot of love in my heart, and there's good in my soul. What I did was wrong, and I'm committed to becoming a better person. Zayn, I think you are enormously talented, and Pillow Talk is an incredible song. I wish you success, love, happiness, and happiness in all your personal and professional endeavors. Throughout my transgressions, you remained a gentleman, and I applaud you for displaying class and maintaining a level head. The world could learn a lot from you, and I hope you find room in your heart to accept my sincerest apologies. Yours faithfully, Azealia Banks.
I mean, she definitely hit the needed points on the apology. I think that it was like good for her to be like, I am capable of being racist myself.
Yeah.
And just because I'm from an ethnic or racial minority doesn't mean that I can like say whatever. And Pillow Talk was a very good song.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't my like I don't engage too much in that, but it was fine, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was interesting, right? She had this incident and then she immediately apologized. So then let's talk about her beef with RZA.
Okay, so sorry, I just want to clarify. So she said this stuff about Russell Crowe. She said she had receipts. Those did not.
We're gonna go back to
We'll go
like
back.
in the midst of her accusation with Russell Crowe, she apologizes to
She
Zayn.
releases the Zayn apology.
And then people that were at the rap party was RZA.
Okay.
And RZA, because RZA, like, I guess produced the movie or something.
Okay.
So she started talking shit about RZA. And
Okay.
RZA wrote this super long screed
Ooh, yeah,
on-
that's like a novel.
on Facebook. You know, this was back when Facebook was popular.
Yeah, it's so funny that a lot of this is going down on Facebook.
Yeah. Basically, it's just like I've worked with her. She's really talented, but she's really, and I've helped her and I tried to mentor her, and she like immediately once I like gave her some help, like took to social media like prematurely, which is something that she does. Anyway, RZA invites Azealia to this to this party, a Russell Crowe's thing. I guess Azealia Banks is being really rambunctious and like obnoxious. He felt a little embarrassed by her. Then like she threatened to cut a girl in the face with a glass. Then she actually grabs a glass and then like is gonna go. Russell blocked the attack and expelled her from the suite. This is not a race issue. This is not a gender issue. Basically, like Russell kicked her out of the room. He didn't call. I didn't hear her call her a nigger. Like, and Azealia was being really obnoxious and annoying that night.
Yeah, so basically what RZA's saying is like Azealia Banks got herself kicked out of this room by behaving in a crazy manner and being violent towards someone, and Russell Crowe kicked her out. And then,
Yeah, well, he just says he kicked her out. I didn't see her do it. RZA says Russell Crowe kicked Azealia out because she was being annoying and obnoxious. I didn't see her do any. I didn't see Russell Crowe do any of the things that Azealia Banks said.
Yeah.
And I treat women with respect, and Azealia Banks, whatever.
Yeah, because she said that he like grabbed her and called
Spit
her
her
the
and called her
N-word
the
and
N-word,
spit in
right?
her face. Okay.
Banks pressed charges against Russell Crowe for assault. But Banks' case was dropped by the Los Angeles District Attorney Office in December 2016. So like a few months later. According to TMZ, several witnesses confirmed Crowe's version of events. So, right? Basically, Azealia says, I was assaulted by Russell Crowe. And RZA didn't back me up. No one defended me. And then RZA's like, you got kicked out because you were annoying. And then everyone at the party backed up Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
Then a year later,
Okay.
which was about 2 weeks after the Harvey Weinstein Me Too article,
Okay.
on October 27,
Okay.
October 2017, RZA was on The Breakfast Club and he talks about it. So we're going to watch that clip and then we'll discuss.
Do the things that he's done, you know?
He never tried you.
He ain't, how you gonna try?
I'll
You like pussy.
Somebody tried Terry Crews.
He said it was somebody.
Somebody tried Terry Crews?
Yeah, the same
But
boy.
with his wife. He said he was with his wife.
Yeah, Terry said a Hollywood exec walked up to him and grabbed
Grabbed
his
his
dick.
balls.
That's
Like,
yo, I'm like I said, my energy don't, you know what I mean? I got a different kind of energy.
Is this a good segue to talk about your movie coming up?
Yep.
All good.
Yeah.
Because we saw the trailer, and obviously Azealia Banks is the star of that movie, but that relationship went left.
Yeah, well, did you like the trailer?
I haven't seen it. I ain't seen the trailer.
Listen, she actually looks like she's doing a really good job in it. I saw Commons in it. What's
Jill
his name?
Scott.
John David Washington.
Yeah, John David. I love John David, man.
Yeah, from Ballers. Yeah, Jill
Yeah.
Scott's in it.
Yeah, and Common and MF makes his appearance as well.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about that.
MF who?
because-
Doom?
Method Man. No,
Oh, Meth. You said Meth. You said MF. I was like, what? I got shot.
Question.
Yeah, but
That's the breakfast.
obviously while you guys were working on the movie, you had a good relationship with her. She thought that you were supposed to manage her, sign her, whatever. What, you were signing her?
I was helping her get her music career started as well. I mean, she got a music career. I was co-signing her, you know. Yeah, it was a record deal on the table for her, yeah.
So you didn't anticipate, you didn't see any signs that things were perhaps not going to work out because she definitely
No, look.
had a history.
Well, you know what? I heard about her history, but when she came to work for me, yo, I'm serious. She did her job every day. She showed up. If I was like, put this on, fall on the bed, cry.
That sounds like Harvey Weinstein.
That's funny. But anyway, I was paying, huh? She really cool. She's a natural talent, yo.
Mm-hmm.
And so I never got a chance to see any of the other rumors that I heard. And I think we just had a bad night, yo. Usually a bad night. Look, bad nights happen.
Right.
I ain't gonna front, you know. There's always a party you can go to. And it's usually real private.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're in a world now that when something happens, it explodes. You know what I mean? So if that would have been something that happened and stayed in the room, it would have just been something that happened, stayed in the room, and we'd have moved on. But it got out the room. You know what I mean? But it takes nothing away from the great talent that she is or the talent that she delivered in this film. She delivered, yo. And I don't care how I was very angry at a point, but I can't be angry at her talent.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because she delivered.
Why were you angry? Why? Because you felt like she was like just disparaging your character?
Yeah, I felt like, yo, we was, you know, you at a party, everybody partying. It's a lot of things gonna happen in the party, kid.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If you turn the lights on, we start drinking over there, and somebody going zone.
Did Russell put hands on her though? Or spit on her like she said?
Look, he spit at her. I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He didn't spit on it. He was like, you know, like you would, like that's what you are. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And it was almost not on me. I'm like, yo.
Did you check him in that point though? That's a white dude spitting at a black woman. You had to check him. You got to say.
Yeah, he apologized to me. You know what I mean? He said, you know, but the night was crazy, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to relive it. It was crazy. And it was super duper awkward. I'm telling you. But one day, I'll make a scene in the movie about it one day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You'll see it, then you'll go, oh, that might be that night right there. You know what
Imagine
I mean?
if when you guys were coming up, there was all kinds of social media and cameras and
Wow.
So,
Wow.
talk to me.
I'm shook
Yeah.
that he actually that Russell Crowe did. I mean, spit in her direction.
Yeah.
No, it's not Pumpkin versus New York, but a spit took place. I'm talking
Yeah.
flavor.
Yeah,
of
yeah,
Love,
yeah, yeah,
of
yeah. I
course,
got that.
the infamous spit.
Yeah.
The most famous spit of all. but like that changes literally everything for me because his
Mhm.
original thing, he was like, none of it happened. And now he's gonna come on and say, actually, he did spit in her direction, but like whatever. And so now it's like, I don't believe him denying that he called her the N-word or any of that stuff now.
I just feel like, okay, this is my, my theory about that night,
Yeah.
right? Someone says something shitty or does a little microaggression or some little thing that ticked Azealia off. She starts talking shit and she's like, who the fuck do you think you are? I'll beat your ass, whatever.
Everyone's drunk.
Everyone's
also.
drunk. Like, she's in this whatever. And this girl's like, I don't know. Like, sometimes, like, girls talk. This is just something that's happened to me. I remember one day on my birthday, like, literally 2016 or something, this girl, like, and there's racial politics at play in this, like, South Asian girl, she pushed me. She like bumped into me. It was my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
I had my full Millie birthday fit.
Yeah.
I'm like, excuse me, bitch. And she just like rolled her eyes at me. And it was just like, there's just something loaded in that of like, she was with her guy friends. Like, she's like, they're not going to let anything happen to me.
Yeah.
And like, I'm guarded. And I'm like, this is not great, but I said to her, I'll kill you. Like, I will kill you. I don't give a fuck about who's here. Like, so I could get like.
Sometimes it goes there. One time I got in an argument with a man on the train and I said, I will beat your ass. And he was much larger than me, but I think it scared him because it was such a crazy thing for me to say.
Yeah.
That he was like, is this girl gonna beat my ass?
Sometimes, okay. So again, we already know that Azealia, if one thing ticks her off, whatever. And yeah, I think, and then Russell Crowe, and then I think that Rizzo was probably embarrassed. was probably embarrassed because, it's Russell Crowe. He won that. Even in the, I included that little article because even in the article, they're like, there's two sides to a story. An Oscar winner, Russell Crowe.
Right. And that was the one thing that stuck with me in my head because I was like, okay, Azealia Banks is an erratic person. I could see her popping off at a party where it's like, okay, this girl needs to leave the party.
Yeah.
Like that I could see being something that happened reasonably. But also I'm like, if this is Russell Crowe's party, basically, it's full of pro Russell Crowe people. You know,
yeah, of course.
Everyone at this party is going to stand
with
on
Russell
the side
Crowe.
of Russell Crowe because he's the most famous person there. It's his party.
A white
He's
guy.
Russell
He's
Crowe.
older too, and she's like
he's super
25.
He's also famous on that level of like old Hollywood type famous people. But like, but that is also what makes me feel like, yeah, he probably did see this 25-year-old black girl. He doesn't know who she is.
Yeah, he doesn't care about her music.
He doesn't give a shit about her. He's drinking too.
Yeah.
Right? And he's Australian, right?
He's some shit. Some kind of like...
I think that the thing is, it reminds me of like Mel Gibson, like these fucking dudes who got like famous for these like white guy, like aggro dude parts that he thinks he can just like spit at a girl and call her the N-word and say whatever and that he can actually do whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
I ask if he's Australian because I'm like, Australians have weird racial politics.
New Zealand, which is again, like
I do think the Kiwis are a little bit better, but either way, what I'm saying is I think he's coming from a place.
He was in his 50s at this point.
Yeah, exactly. He's like an old
25.
white guy who's been famous for so long. He's famous for being like, again, like aggro roles, etc.
Yeah.
He's in like a fucking rock band, like weird shit. Like
he
just thinks that he can, spit on a black
and then
woman.
RZA, but the thing is, like RZA, like didn't stand up for her. No one stood up for her. She pressed charges. Everyone said they didn't see it. RZA wrote all this stuff, and then Me Too comes out, and it's all about believing women. These fucking assholes are joking about it. Oh, LOL. It sounds like Robbie.
I also think that RZA, in the cold light of the morning, was feeling shame because of what exactly Charlemagne asked him in that. Because he's like, well, you stood up for her, right? Because that's a white man spitting at a black woman. Like, you said something, right? And RZA's response is so interesting. Like, he apologized
to me. To me.
He didn't do anything. He did not do anything in the moment at all. He did not step up. And I think he realized like, oh, I'm like chicken shit for that.
Like but a year later. So exactly.
I feel like he probably knew it literally when he woke up the next day, but he was even still in this, not that things are like amazing now post Me Too, but he was like, I'm just going to call this girl a liar and move it on so nobody knows that I didn't stand up for a black woman in this scenario. And then now he's going to be like, well, yeah, things happened and she has talent and he apologized to me. It's like, why would he apologize? He doesn't need to apologize to you.
I bet you he grabs her, like picks her up, grabs her, throws her out of the room. Whatever happened, like she says that he choked her and did all this shit. I believe that.
He spits
at her, which I'm like, why are you, if someone's being, like, listen, if someone's being annoying and they need to leave, hey, you gotta go. Or like tell RZA, like, RZA, can you get your friend or something?
Yeah.
Why are you spitting at her?
Yeah.
Why are you spitting at her?
Yeah, and it's like even if he didn't, even if the spit didn't physically get on her, for him to spit like on the ground next to her, that is a way of communicating. Like, you are so low to me.
That I'm like, of course he said all that shit to her.
Yeah, of course he called her the N-word. Of course he did. I believe her 100%.
So I think that he put her out of the room, and then he comes back. He's like, sorry, RZA, like, your friend was a fucking crazy. And he's like, yeah, she's so fucking crazy. I'm never working with her again. And then Azealia is like, this guy just fucking choked me. And then RZA went on his Facebook and wrote, she's fucking crazy.
Yeah. And nobody else who was in the room is going to stand with her. So, of course, the charges are dropped.
Or dropped, whatever. And then she apologized to Zayn after all that, which is like, after that, she apologized to Zayn. She's like, I'm sorry. And then his lawyer, RZA's lawyer, had to write a whole statement because TMZ interviewed RZA.
Okay.
And TMZ was like, did Russell, like the day after that? And then Russell, and then like he kind of like admitted that like in this one like minor interview with TMZ, RZA said that, oh yeah, he spit, but like it didn't hit her, and it was like more to me. It really got on me more than her, which is exactly like his qualifier too. But all that stuff, so his lawyer was like, RZA always said that Russell Crowe spit on her. He's not a lie. Because all these people are like, you fucking said all this shit and you made her look bad. And then, like, and he's like, well, blah, blah, blah. Azealia has a really crazy reputation.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that beef?
That beef, I am squarely on the side of Azealia Banks. I think Russell Crowe did at least a version of exactly what she said in her. Maybe she's being hyperbolic in some levels because she's Azealia Banks, but like I think the contours of what she said happened between her and Russell Crowe are true.
Absolutely. Okay. Let's go back to like challengers. We're going back in time. 2013, Azealia Banks versus ASAP Rocky. And this was one I wasn't going to get to until another beef that I'm like, we gotta, whatever. So in 2013, and this was a really popular, in 2013, Rocky made gave this interview with the COVID tour. Because remember 2013 was like the bold red lipstick. Like it was like that harsh red, was the style.
Yeah.
That was the style. So he was interviewed and he says, I feel like the red lipstick, with the red lipstick thing, it all depends on the pair of complexion. I'm just being for real. You have to be fair skinned to get away with that. Just like if you were to wear, like, for instance, what do dark skinned girls have that fair skinned girls can't do? Purple lipstick? Nah, that looks fucking stupid on all girls. Purple lipstick guys, like, what the fuck? So basically, like, yeah, people were pissed because it's basically for A$AP Rocky was like black girls, especially dark-skinned black girls, should not be wearing red lipstick. Or purple lipstick or anything.
Which is insane.
It was like a very well-known. He said a bunch of terrible, shitty things, like ignorant stuff like that. He said a bunch. He said stuff about Black Lives Matter. Like, that has nothing to do with me because I live in Soho now. Like, he's a fucking idiot. And it's disappointing, but whatever. Rihanna ended up with him, whatever. But like, that was a very popular.
I feel like Rihanna has worn red lipstick and looked great.
Anyway, but yeah, exactly. So at the time, Banks goes on Twitter and says, LOL, A$AP Rocky's lipstick advice. Some people should just come out of the closet, she added.
Oof.
When challenged about the closet remarks, she wrote, so Rocky takes a direct blow to my image about dark skin and purple lipstick. Then as soon as I'm offended, I'm the bad guy. She also called Rocky's comments hurtful and that it made her cry. Then she jabbed at Rocky's hairstyle as derivative of her 212 breakup video. So it's those plaits, like that A$AP Rocky was like, he used to wear his hair in a signature style where the braids were like sideways and hung down.
Yeah.
And Azealia Banks had her hair like that for 212 in the 212 music video. I do remember like a lot of people made fun of him after that, like The Read, which is one of my favorite, where used to be one of my favorite podcasts. He said, like, I know like a guy, I'm not taking makeup advice with a guy with Harriet Tubman braids. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, like, so that hairstyle, whatever. But like, people didn't like the closet stuff.
No, I don't think, I do feel like, once again, kind of the fatal flaw is that she takes a legit thing to be mad about, and then the insult that she tags to it is not related and is also fucked up. Like, I don't think she needed to be homophobic about it. She could have
Yeah,
just said,
it was
like,
2013. But yeah, exactly.
I don't think you should be homophobic in 2013.
No. But like
I think that she should have just been like, what are you fucking talking about? You don't know anything about lipstick. Also, your style sucks.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
it just didn't need to. Again, it's like similar to the Zayn thing. It's like, why are you bringing his like Pakistani heritage into it? Just talk about the thing you want to talk about. There's no need to like add this extra thing that's like, and you're gay. It's like, no.
Yeah.
Honestly, if he was gay, he would probably know more about lipstick shades, and his opinion would be more informed.
I don't know. Gay people are so racist. Okay, so let's go to 2018 with Azealia Banks versus Lana Del Rey.
Okay.
It all started, this was from a BuzzFeed article. Kanye West shared a selfie of him wearing a MAGA hat. His caption on the thing says, "This represents good and America becoming whole again. We will no longer outsource to other countries. We will build factories here in America and create jobs. We will provide jobs for all who are free from prisons as we abolish the 13th Amendment. Message sent with love."
I'm sorry, I forgot that Kanye said we were going to abolish the 13th Amendment. But I guess the 13th Amendment is the one that says like you can be in
like slaves.
Right, because that's the Ava DuVernay documentary.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess, it's did Donald, whatever. Anyway, I can't get in.
Donald Trump released a bunch of like high profile like prisoners, I guess. And
when he worked with Kim? Or was this while he was in office or while he was running? Okay, yes. No, 2018.
So then this is what...
So I guess this is when Kim was working on criminal justice reform with Jared Kushner.
Trump becoming our president was... This is Lana Del Rey. Trump becoming our president was a loss for the country, but your support of him is a loss for the culture. I can only assume you relate to his personality on some level. Delusions of grandeur, extreme issues with narcissism, none of which would be a talking point if we weren't speaking about the man leading our country. If you think it's all right to support someone who believes it's okay to grab a woman by the pussy just because he's famous, then you need an intervention as much as he does. Something so many narcissists will never get because there just isn't enough help for the issue. Message sent with concern that will never be addressed. So Azealia didn't like that. And Azalea's support of Trump is interesting because she says, I'm just providing context. Her reason of thinking is America's evil and Trump is evil and all politicians are evil. Trump is evil, but he's transparent about his evilness, so you know what you're going to get. Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Okay.
So, Azealia Banks posted this. Wow, okay, Lana, this would be cute if you were consistent with your outrage and refused to collab with A$AP Rocky, who has physically assaulted women too. To me, this just looks like the typical white woman using a weakened target to pretend to be an ally. Especially because you know that a white woman versus a black male will result in an immediate victory for the white woman due to societal circumstances. You wouldn't dare challenge a black woman on her opinion because you don't have that much of a social prejudice in place.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with.
It's like there's a little kernel of something, but then whatever.
Yeah.
So then, 2 weeks later, Lana Del Rey says, at Azealia Banks, you know the Audi, pull up anytime, say it to my face, but if I were you, I wouldn't.
Oh.
Then she tweeted this, I won't not fuck you the fuck up, period.
Lana did to Azealia Banks?
Yep.
That's really
You don't remember this?
No, I do not remember this because I will admit that like Lana Del Rey is kind of like
a cultural blind spot.
A cultural blind spot for me. So I did not know that she said that to Azealia Banks. And I'm like, damn, that is crazy because Azealia Banks will pull up. Like, yeah. I do not doubt that Azealia Banks will show up and commence the fight that you are starting. So definitely don't tweet that at her unless you want it to go down.
Then Lana says this, Banks, you could have been the greatest female rapper alive, but you blew it. Don't take it out on the only person who had your back. Then Azealia tweeted this, sometimes you have to ignore these white bitches, LOL. Then she tweeted this, I feel powerful. Then she plugged her soap store.
She has a soap store?
I guess. I don't know. Then she says, then she goes, No, she's talking shit. Still talking shit about Lana. First, we need to call the surgeon who did her pointy Michael Jackson nose and ask for some Kai Bella for those chicken patties. Next, we need to head over to Instagram and invest in some flat tummy lollipops and a $20 waist trainer. And then Lana said, I'll send you my surgeon's number and a good psychiatrist. I know you're in LA. Your psych meds aren't working. Hashtag, you need a new cocktail. And then Lana stopped replying. Azealia again was plugging her soap thing. And then just when you thought it was over, Lana had more to say. So then Azealia goes, where's the pull-up tweet? I'm talking to my lawyer. And then Lana says, tell him it's a promise, not a threat.
I feel like Lana kind of cooked in this one.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, what she said to Kanye West was right. Like Kanye West's support of Trump is deranged and bizarre, and it is rooted in their kind of shared.
Both
weird,
Gemini.
But a lot of Gemini misbehavior going on here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that. I think Azalea's response. There are elements of true dynamic that she is talking about, but I actually don't think they're applicable to what she's saying in this instance. And then once again, she immediately is fat phobic in her response. And I feel like, I think Lana cooked her up. I did not know that went down.
I do think that Kanye West and Azealia Banks are a match made in heaven.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like Harley Quinn and Joker. Like they would do so much but Kanye would never date Azealia because I think he likes somebody who plays second fiddle.
Yeah.
And she's always just a little bit more unhinged than I don't know. So, but I'm like, if
she would match his freak too much, perhaps.
And I truly believe, like the movie The Secretary pointed out, men are scared of a woman that matches their freak.
Yeah.
They want to be the ones that like dictate and all this stuff. But I'm like, God, that would be good to see Azealia and Kanye like date.
You are right that it would be Joker, Harley Quinn type vibes.
Exactly. And like the thing about Joker and Harley Quinn is that Harley Quinn freaks his freak.
Yeah.
And it makes him scared and whatever. Anyway, so I was just like, I'm totally with you. But I'm like, damn, Azealia and Kanye need to get together.
That's just a side opinion where it's like, oh, these two could destroy the world together.
Truly.
Like truly.
And make really great deranged music.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll go really quickly. Azealia Banks versus Cardi B.
Okay.
Cardi B and Azealia Banks have previously, so this is in May of 2018. So in September 2017, Banks went on a rant about Cardi B on Twitter, calling the Bronx rapper a poor man's Nicki Minaj. Cardi B responded by sharing a video. This is one of the funniest responses ever, right? Because Banks went on this whole rant about how Cardi B sucks and whatever. And then Cardi B shared a video of Azealia Banks dancing to Bodak Yellow on Instagram, writing, one of the reasons Bodak Yellow went #1 is because even the haters love it. And it's like, that was good. That, of course, set Banks off. And that's the thing is that Cardi B also never to the point of Banks. We're not even on the same, but she'll go online and she'll fight with people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, Cardi B is not someone that I would want to get into it with online.
Banks criticized Cardi B, calling her everything from a caricature of a Black woman to an illiterate, untalented rat. And this is what she said about Cardi B in her Breakfast Club interview. 2 years ago, the conversation surrounding Black women's culture was really reaching an all-time high, tipping her hat to Beyonce's 2016 Lemonade. There was just this really, really intelligent conversation going on nationally, and then everything kind of just changed, and then it was like Cardi B. And I'm just talking about this caricature of a Black woman that Black women themselves would never be able to get away with. Banks continued, like if my spelling and grammar was that bad, I'd be canceled. If Nicki Minaj spelled like that, we would be ragging on her all day. I'll say this. I don't know if you've ever heard Azealia Banks speak.
Yes, I have.
A thing that a lot of Black American people will do with Cardi B is say that she's not Black. And she's like, do whatever.
Which we've discussed in our episode with Hoes with Feelings.
Yeah, with Carolina and Melissa. But it's so rich for Azealia Banks because Azealia Banks grew up in Harlem, but specifically the Heights. So she has the most Dominican girl from New York accent I've ever heard in anyone.
Yeah.
Also, she practices Santeria. Also, one of my favorite songs of hers has a Santeria prayer in it.
Wow.
In Spanish. And she has like a lot. It's fucking sick because it's a lot of like the drum patterns. It's a good song and literally a Santeria prayer. But I'm like, sit down, Azealia.
Yeah, it's playing into one of these things that I see with Cardi B a lot where people are like, she's unintelligent. And then it's like, if you actually watch her stories and see what she's spoken on, Cardi B's really smart. And she knows a lot about history and the government and how it works. And she's a really thoughtful person. She just expresses it in a way that our current society does not consider to be the height of articulate intelligence.
And it's 100% like white supremacy. It's 100% like there was this like study or something where they asked like a white kid and a black kid about God.
Mm-hmm.
And the white kid like spoke eloquently, but his point was not deep or like philosophical or anything. And the black kid spoke like in Ebonics.
Yeah.
But he actually made a more substantive point of like how people relate to God and all this stuff. But so then they asked a group of people like, which one is more intelligent? And they said, obviously everyone said the white kid. But really, like when you look, philosophers are like, okay, actually, and it's that kind of thing where it's like, yeah, that's what you're doing. So Cardi B immediately comments because Azealia Banks has talked about shit about Beyonce. So
yeah,
Cardi B goes, Beyonce? Wasn't Beyonce the same woman she was talking shit about and dragging all over the media? I'm from the hood. I speak how I speak. I am how I am. I did not choose to be famous. People chose me. People followed me on Instagram and people gave me a platform to introduce my talent. I never asked to be an example or a role model. I don't want to change my ways because I'm famous. That's why I just mind my business. This is coming from a woman that bleached her skin but wants to advocate. Goodbye. I'm not apologizing or killing myself because of who I am. Then she goes on a longer rant. And then she says, I reread this a couple of times for the Aquilas and the B's out there.
Not Aquila and the Bee.
Because of like the spelling.
Sorry, that's really funny to invoke Aquila and the Bee.
Cardi B's funny. A woman who constantly finds joy in belittling black women, parentheses, Beyonce, Rihanna, Sky Jackson, Remy Ma. I won't tell you about the Sky Jackson thing, at least. We can't even go there. Can't try and stand up for them because it's convenient. The difference between me and you is I've never pretended to represent someone I'm not. I made it where I am for being myself and staying true to that. I'm not trying to represent nobody but myself. You busy trying to be the voice of reason as a representative for women of color when you can't even reason with yourself. You can't understand where your insecurities come from and why you're not happy in your own skin. You think because you can't figure out your shit that you can create confusion for me. Make me unsure about who I am. I know who I am. A daughter to an Hispanic father and a Caribbean mother, and I'm proud of that. I never dismissed my heritage or my culture. I've never pretended to sound like anyone or look like anyone for attention or to make me feel better because about who I'm not. I've been this way always. You think because someone uses a lot of big words and long sentences that makes them smart? How smart are you if you don't know that the meaning of illiterate means to know how to read or write? I can do both. I speak 2 languages fluently. Just because I mix up a few words, forget to use commas, or misspell a few words, doesn't make me illiterate and doesn't make me stupid. And because I laugh a little harder or talk a little louder, doesn't make me a caricature. You think you're advocating for women and you're doing the opposite. I pray you find peace in your own heart and reason in your own mind. Pray for your own successes before you pray for the downfall of others.
Done. Cooked again.
Cooked. I love Cardi B.
Cardi B really
is so good at the internet.
And she just articulated in that what I really love about her, which is that she's like, no, fuck.
Yeah.
I'm not going to change how I talk. I'm not going to change how I am. And I'm not going to let you tell me that I'm not intelligent because I don't express myself in this exact way that you think. And she's right. I didn't make myself famous. I was chosen to be famous because of my talent and because I'm so magnetic as a person and because who I am is so interesting to watch and to hear.
Lamar Dawson said it in our episode.
Like we've discussed Cardi on the pod a couple times because she is actually really great at articulating herself online, and she's funny and she's personable and she is fucking smart.
Yeah,
she is fucking smart, and she does speak 2 fucking languages.
Yeah.
And I don't care if her Instagram stories are spelled properly. I don't care.
Yeah, like this is totally me. Like just because I do typos and forget to use commas and misspell a few words doesn't make me stupid. I'm like, yes,
thank you.
That's me. So you're Team Cardi on this one.
Absolutely.
Okay,
squarely.
We have one more.
I wonder if it's the one.
It's the big one. It's the big one.
Is it the one?
It's the one. Azealia Banks versus Elon Musk versus Grimes. This is really...
This might be my Roman Empire. I might think about the things that Azealia Banks said about Elon Musk and Grimes every day.
It's pretty crazy, but I'm trying to find finding the timeline of this is pretty crazy and complicated, so I'm doing my best.
The actual story of what happened is very bizarre, but the things that Azealia Banks
iconic and not clear
about Elon Musk and Grimes are so clear as a bell.
Yeah.
Her lyricism on display.
Yeah, her talent. She's talented. So in July 2018, Grimes announced that she's collabing with Azealia Banks to work on Banks' long-delayed, notoriously troubled second album. According to Banks, Grimes invited to fly her out to stay at Musk's place to put the finishing touches on their collaboration, which Banks did. So that's in July 2018. August 7, 2018, Elon Musk tweets this. I'm considering taking Tesla private at 420. Funding secured.
Right, I remember this.
Okay. August 10th, Banks arrives at Elon Musk's mansion in LA. In an Instagram DM, she later told Business Insider that Musk was scrounging for investors to cover his ass after that tweet and that he wasn't cute in person. Also, Musk and Grimes left for DEF CON together. I guess it's like a convention.
Yeah.
Leaving Banks in his house. So they just...
The 420 thing was one of the first times that we saw him doing that thing where like he's just trying to make like a really dumb joke, but actually he leads a company, and then like you can't just say we're taking this company public on 420, like when you actually have an enormous company. Like there are repercussions to...
We're getting to that.
Yeah.
But Azealia Banks says, literally have been sitting at Elon Musk's house alone for days waiting for @Grimes to show up and start these sessions. I have no idea when she's coming back. I'm going to wait one more day and then I'm going to go home. So, and then this is from a later date. She shared screenshots from around the time, and this is Grimes texting Azealia Banks. And he just got into weed because of me, and he's super entertained by 420. So when he decided to take the stock private, he calculated it was worth $419. So he rounded up to 420 for a laugh, and now the SEC is investigating him for fraud.
He's so stupid. God, oh my God, he's like truly of a teenager.
Yeah.
At a company. Like, yeah, you can't just round up because 420 is a word that is funny to you because you just got into weed and you're grown.
Okay. So apparently, Azealia Banks gets trapped in Elon Musk's house and things start getting weird. That Sunday night, Banks compared staying in the Musk mansion to a real-life version of Get Out and then exposed Musk to be too stupid to not go on Twitter while on acid. Which is like, for all the shit that Banks does, for her to be judging you. Also, she says she also claims she wasn't allowed to bring her boyfriend with her, and she said it was probably some weird threesome sex shit to begin with, which I could totally see.
100%.
Like, if a couple invites you to their house and says, don't bring your boyfriend, and then they like, you're there to work and they never show up, like...
Yeah, it is weird when we're dealing with like a literal, probably like mansion compound to say, no, we can't host your boyfriend too.
Yeah.
Like, why can't she bring her boyfriend?
Yeah. And then they're not even there.
Leave,
Yeah, they're
and you're not even
leave.
gonna be there. Now she's just wandering around.
So Azealia posted this. They're both two fucking crackheads. He's on tweeting on acid, fucking up his own stocks and whatnot. A real life dummy. Banks continued to post about her stay on Instagram. Her thoughts were not flattering, and she may have low-key accused Elon Musk of investment fraud. The dark reference to Musk tweeting while on acid seems to refer to a Twitter thread again, where he wrote he's gonna take whatever. And an open question was if Musk was being serious or was he making some kind of labored weed joke. Some people pointed out if he was serious, his tweet could be seen as the manipulation of a marketplace. That would make it illegal. Musk wrote on a blog post clarifying that no final decision has been made about Tesla's future, but the Security and Exchange Commission is already reportedly investigating. According to Banks, the investment issue was a major topic of concern at the Musk residence while she was there. I saw him in the kitchen tucking his tail in between his legs, scrounging for investors to cover his ass after that tweet, she said in an interview with Business Insider, during which she also clarified she was at Musk's home from early Friday through Sunday night. He was stressed and red in the face. He's not a cute person at all. Banks continued her rant.
She certainly did.
LOL. Elon Musk is better off hiring an escort. At least an escort would have kept her mouth shut about his business. He's got some dirty sneaker, inbred, out of the woods, Pabst beer, pussy, meth head, junkie running around town telling everyone everything about him. All because he needed a date to the Met Gala to hide his shrinking dick from Amber Heard. LOL. A fucking rebound. A beta male who took steroids and got hair plugs to convince himself he was alpha. There's no reason that in this collab with Grimes, I know so much about, quote, Elon Musk. Grimes is really an idiot. And Musk, this is the second story, and Musk is really part of the problem. When you talk about white male privilege and colonialism, his family wealth is rooted in emerald and ore mines in southern Africa during apartheid. This trash-ass beta male pig was given his start in life because of his disgusting racist parents took advantage of thousands of black people. Ask Elon Musk what the fuck he does for Africa. Nothing. He ignores it. These fake-ass libertarian shitbags.
This is the next one is calling Grimes dirty sneaker Pabst Blue Ribbon pussy is incredible, but this next story is the one that looms large in my mind, and I think about it always.
And he is ugly. The thin gray lips and froggy eyelids, the ununiformed hair growth pattern, pork skin. He's on the Down syndrome spectrum. Fucked up. For sure. There's something not quite right about that man. I wouldn't give him the credit of calling him an alien. He's a mutant. His humanoid group emerged/crawled out of the Caucasus cave system 15,000 years ago after the first Caucasian Homo sapiens did. He's really a caveman.
Save the Down syndrome line, which if I was her copy editor, I would have taken it out.
The Down syndrome line is where she lost me.
But froggy eyelid.
So then
thin gray lips. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that was iconic. Iconic. Musk, meanwhile, told Gizmodo he didn't know Azealia Banks and he's never seen or met Azealia Banks or communicated with her in any way in his life. But Banks sent Business Insider an alleged screenshot of a conversation between her and Mac Boucher, Claire's brother, that said, Elon will meet you tonight. 3 days later, Elon admitted to seeing Azealia Banks for, quote, 2 seconds in a New York Times interview. So these people lie on her. Okay, what say you about the Elon Musk?
Oh, squarely in Azealia Banks. Azealia Banks delivered the Elon Musk read for the ages. It will, again, aside from the Down syndrome line, it will never not be true. Every single fucking thing that she said about him in this, it is an unparalleled read of Elon Musk
and Grimes.
The dirty sneaker Pabst Blue Ribbon pussy is
meth head junkie. Yeah,
meth head junkie. Unbelievable read on Grimes. The fact that she's like, and he benefits from apartheid.
Yeah,
and he's ugly, and saying like, I wouldn't even give him the credit of calling him an alien. He crawled out of the Caucasus Mountains.
15,000. Yeah, God. Caucasus cave system.
Caucasus cave system. Unbelievable. One of the reads of all time.
But I'm a Bushwick girly. I do want to hear Azealia Banks and Grimes collab.
I know. I'm like, it's unfortunate that we did not get the Azealia Banks Grimes collab because I think it would have been good. But I do think that we got something better, which is this series of Instagram stories about Elon Musk that are unbelievable.
Azealia had to, she was subpoenaed in an SEC commission investigation about Elon Musk. And
froggy eyelids,
gray skin,
thin lips,
pork skin.
Pork skin. I'm so sorry. Pork
skin is crazy.
Pork skin is unbelievable.
Yeah. Insane.
Pork skin.
Yeah, no, she's crazy. So, yeah, I would just say, what is your overall kind of read of Azealia Banks? We've got, again, there's so much more, but I feel like we got a good comprehensive view of.
She has definitely been on the wrong side of things that she has said. I did not agree with her on all of these beefs. In fact, I strongly disagreed with her on some of these beefs. I do think that it is unfortunate. I think you said it was Rolling Stone that said her beefs overshadow the music. And I do think that has happened, which does suck because she is really talented.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. And I feel like personally, when I hear about her, it's usually in the context of her saying this and that she's kind of become this figure of beefs.
Yeah.
Instead of being about the music. And I do think that she would benefit from choosing her battles in a more wise manner.
Yeah. And, just where I'm at in my life, I feel very complicated about Azealia Banks because as someone who's done things in entertainment and we talk offline, part of being a woman of color and part of being a woman of color in entertainment, but honestly in any career, is people will try the fuck out of you.
Yeah.
People will diss you, insult you because they know they can get away with it and they know that you have no power and blah, blah, blah. And you have to take so much shit to the chin. You do. Especially if you want to keep working in it. You have to be gracious. You have to give people more grace than they ever would have given you.
Yeah.
All that stuff, that's part of doing any kind of creative work, which sucks. Then you see people like Azealia Banks who speaks out a lot of times is wrong. The Zayn Malik stuff was wrong. The Lana Del Rey. But then sometimes it's yeah, but she doesn't care about standing up to Russell Crowe. She doesn't care about whatever. She's advocating and standing up for herself. And, like it or not, she's still doing music and she still has a creative career. And she's still she's not as big. She could have been Doja Cat. She could have been bigger than Doja Cat.
Yeah, I do think that Lana Del Rey hit the nail on the head in that one tweet where she's you could have been one of the greatest female rappers of all time, but the erraticism of her behavior is difficult because it's sometimes she's standing up to someone like Russell Crowe, and then sometimes she's calling Cardi B illiterate. And it's okay, well, now you're not even moving the cause forward for other Black female rappers. Now you're actually kind of standing with the oppressor on that one. So it's she's all over the place.
Yeah.
And so you can't get behind her ideologically, really, because then she'll be well, I support Donald Trump because the U.S. is evil and at least he's evil publicly. And it's okay, well,
yeah, exactly. So
yeah,
it's hard and it's complicated. And I'm also but yeah, I guess I just have grace in that aspect of you just have to take so much shit in the chin. And the worst thing about her is that she doesn't choose battles properly and all this stuff. But also the interesting thing about her as a public figure, not as an artist, whatever, is that she doesn't choose battles and she'll fucking go toe to toe with anyone. And she has this confidence in her ability. And also, yeah, she's fucking stupid and she picks fights and stuff. And had she collabed with RZA, had she whatever, but it's just in order to work with Grimes, you have to be in the house for 5 days and they have to disregard you. Same thing, something similar happened with her and Rihanna, where Rihanna said, I want to work on a song with you. And then kind of left her hanging high and dry and whatever and did a bunch of things. And it's like, she got pissed and left, which I understand, but I'm also like, yeah, but like, that's what it takes. And it sucks. It sucks. So it's like,
it sucks. And I mean, she's certainly a super interesting figure in that because of her talent, she is able to get into these spaces. And because of her not giving a fuckedness, she will like tell you behind the scenes what goes on at Elon Musk's mansion, which is super interesting. But then you don't get the collab with Grimes. She's kind of like the opposite of an industry plant. Almost.
Exactly.
Like
she's like an industry chaos.
Yeah, she's an interesting industry agent of chaos because like solely based on her talent, is she able to get into any spaces at all? And she doesn't play the game in any way, shape, or form.
In any way. So
it's very interesting.
It's very interesting. She's fascinating. And, you know, my biases, again, like, as someone who has taken a lot of shit on the chin, like, I'm never going to behave like this, but it is like, I can stick up for myself publicly sometimes because I'm never going to do what she does in that extent, but I'm like, she's still working, she's still creating, she's still touring, whatever. And full bias, full thing out there. I saw her in 2020. I went 2022.
What's her live performance like?
Fucking incredible.
Yeah,
She, 45, the best 45 minutes. She did only a 45-minute set. She did like a 5-day residency or 4-day residency at Webster Hall. It sold out every night, which I think was great. And it was just like all like gay people of color and Millie. And it was so fun. And she like put on a crazy performance. She can sing. She raps. The aesthetic was crazy. Like, she's nuts.
Yeah.
It's fun. I mean, it's the same thing with Kanye. Kanye was one of the best concerts I ever been to. You know, Yeezus in 2013. And it's because, like, that erratic, unhinged thing actually is really good.
Yeah, well, it can lead to creative genius and...
For an on-stage thing. What you said of, like, you know, French people say that we're loud and annoying and obnoxious, and it's like, yeah, but that's what it takes to be good at it.
Yeah, in my TikTok that one person said was xenophobic against French people. Which
and also we need to focus on Kamala Harris.
Yeah, yes. For those of you guys who don't know, I posted after the opening ceremonies, and I was like, I think it's kind of funny that for as much shit as the French give, specifically Americans and French Canadians, your two big headliners are Lady Gaga and Celine Dion. And maybe all I'm ever hearing from you guys is how we're loud and we're dumb and we're annoying, but maybe you need to be a little loud and a little dumb and a little annoying to put on a good show. 99% of people understood what I was saying. One person was like, this is xenophobic against the French and we should be focused on Kamala Harris. And I'm like, well, you're not focused on Kamala Harris. You're in my comments.
Yeah.
And also, xenophobia is one of France's #1 exports in this world.
Well,
I'm respecting French culture by being xenophobic.
Clock it.
I'm parlaying with the French.
You know, I have a complicated relationship with the French. You know, my allegiance to the French is complicated. Anyway, the whole thing is Azealia Banks. She's a complicated figure. We'll watch this space.
She's been right. She's been wrong.
She's been right. She's been very wrong. She's been very right. Fuck Russell Crowe. Fuck RZA.
And that read on Elon Musk.
Was iconic.
It was iconic.
2-on-2 is the best, one of the best things of the 2010s.
Yeah.
Foggy Gray Eyelids was one of the best verses of the 2020, you know.
Pork skin, insane.
So
insane.
Anyway, watch this space. People say, can't you separate the art from the artist? And they're talking about Louis C.K. And they're talking about R. Kelly.
And J.K. Rowling.
And J.K. Rowling. Well, J.K. Rowling is...
It's complicated.
Yeah, well, it doesn't really...
I'm crying already.
Okay. But it's like, Azealia Banks isn't raping people. She's being annoying online. So I do separate the art from the artist. I listen to Azealia Banks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's just like, you have to make that decision for yourself. And with that, go touch grass!
That was a HeadGum podcast.
Hi, I'm Caleb Heron, host of the So True podcast, now on HeadGum. Every week, me and my guests get into it and we get down to what's really going on. I ask them what's so true to them, how they got to where they are in life, a bunch of other questions, and we also may or may not test their general trivia knowledge, whether it's one of my sworn enemies like Brittany Broski or Drew Wallow, or my actual biological mother, Kelly. My guests and I are just after the truth, and if we find it, great, and if not, no worries. So subscribe to So True on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Casts, or wherever you get your podcasts, and watch video episodes on the So True with Caleb Heron YouTube channel. New episodes drop every Thursday. Love ya.